What was the moment of realizing that this is the shit that I'm gonna do for the rest of my life now?
I think when I got signed to 88.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
What would you give an advice to yourself, having eyes on you at that age?
I think meditate as much as possible.
Did that help a part of your journey?
It did because there was a point.
Justin Bieber bought a monkey during his time of having money and at an early age. What was your buying monkey moment? How do you maintain yourself being an Indonesian and making yourself feel more Indonesian, even when you're far away from home?
Watching IG Reels. I get a lot of Indo IG Reels content.
Is there gonna be a time where you call it a day in LA?
I always say that I want to have a family here.
Is that?
Yeah.
Do you think collaborating with artists is much easier out there than it is here?
Welcome to the Friday Podcast, a melting pot of all ideas and stories. Whether it's the resilience behind a punchline, the humanity behind a policy, or the spark that fuels a masterpiece. In our studio, we pull back the curtain and explore the other side of every story. Because here at the Friday Podcast, we talk, you listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, E.S. Lawrence. I never said this in person, tapi I feel like we, Makna Talks, owe you a lot.
Oh, how come?
I think the podcast we did, podcast 52, the year was 2019.
Wow.
That put us on the map.
Really?
I think that was a we did it moment.
No way.
Dude,
That's
thank you so much for
Thank
that
you.
moment. And it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
6 years ago.
6 years.
I think we talked about a few things. We talked about how the East came to the West and how all those Asian culture, end up in America and everything in between. I think I got one topic I really want to talk about, which is artistic growth.
Okay.
And I
Yes.
feel like, dude, like even 6 years ago when we first met, when we met then, and then I listened to The Sailor. I was like grown up shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like this is nothing like who you were before.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing 6 years later, which is today, you're even much more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is that a progress of you being in America and just meeting lots of new people, or what's the story after 6 years of doing everything?
Yeah. It's growing up, meeting lots of new people, meeting lots of just experiencing lots of also being there during COVID. I think that was a very interesting time of my life because it just felt like very like accelerated growing up process. It's I couldn't see my family for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. Also just like I think with this album, a big part of it is just like deciding to take my time. As people know, it's been 6 years. That's not an ideal amount of time in between projects for an artist.
No.
And that's never like.
But it's not as if you were doing nothing in those.
Yeah.
6 years, right?
It's not like I was doing nothing. People think I was just like chilling, but I wasn't. I was trying to make music, whilst balancing just like being an adult, like becoming an adult, and also just like trying to find what is my next sound and like what am I gonna talk about. Because that was a tough thing too, just like trying to figure out what the next sound is. Because The Sailor was like, I really relied on a bunch of producers that were very talented.
Got it.
But I didn't want to, I was looking for like producers to work with on this next one. And I had a really good chemistry with those guys, but I just didn't, I was afraid that it was going to sound too similar. So I decided to kind of like, to just like produce everything myself. And
Grown up shit,
man. real man shit. But yeah, I took a liking on like analog synths and like live instrumentation, guitar, bass, and all that stuff, and that really changed my approach to.
You did a lot of digging this year.
I did a lot of digging just because it came to a point where, after like a year, after 2 years, people are like, where is this guy? But then after like after a certain point, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Kayak nanggung aja gitu loh. Kayak I'd rather just like take more time and then just just become better at production, become better at writing, and just make sure that the album is like as good as I it can possibly be.
Well, I remember 2019. You said something like, in this album, I'm singing, right? Like, I gotta tell the world that I can do it. Is there one of those moments in this one? Like, what you gotta show?
This album, it's funny because it's like the most I've sang on an album, but it's also the most I've rapped on an album at the same time. Because there's songs where I'm just straight up singing. It's very melodic because I'm producing the whole thing. I think I've really fell in love with like very melodic, very like I love like, I don't know, chord progressions and stuff like that, like beautiful chord progressions. But also there are songs like there's a song called Time Zones, which is like a 6-minute, 30-second, just straight up storytelling rap song. And I worked on that for like just 7 days straight. And that was like just me talking about, it's like a love letter to all my like online friends and just like all the people that I never met in person, but just affected my life in such big ways, including like my online ex-girlfriend that I dated when I was like 15, and then she like broke up with me, and then I
never met her.
Well, I ended up meeting her after.
After you broke up.
After I broke up, like
that's fucking weird.
Yeah, when I went to America, I went on tour, and then I went
There
to
she
DC,
was.
and then I saw her.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of romantic, dude.
yeah,
Right?
it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, that song was talking about how like she inspired me to, she motivated me to go out and like get my first kiss. It's like stuff like that. So yeah, it's talking about a lot of very like vivid storytelling, which I love.
Yeah, I've always felt like you have that ability of storytelling and representing us Indonesians the best way possible out there. But I also think to myself that it's such a heavyweight to, because I remember when you first went out there, headlines were like akhirnya go international atau kayak cepat sekali gitu seorang Rich Brian melakukan ini, and eyes were on you, man. And how old were you then?
I was 16, 17.
16, 17.
Yeah.
Can't fucking imagine. You know what I mean? Like how did it feel to be you then?
Heavy. Definitely heavy. Well, I mean, but here's the thing though. As a young kid, also a part of it is like there's so much of it where you're just not even thinking about it. You just kind of go. You just kind of go, and then like things. I think back then a lot of things felt like they were just aligning. They were just working out without me really trying much. I was just being myself. And I think that's the beauty of like just being young and like kind of being ignorant. And when you get older, things kind of is like, wait, I'm like,
Why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah. Or like I'd look at old tweets or something or old posts. I'm like, that I posted that. And I wish I would have the same mindset sometimes, because now I'm like, what do I post? Like I'm overthinking it. Nowadays. So it's different. So I think back then, like, yes, it was very heavy, but at the same time, I kind of was just on the go. Yeah.
Well, Justin Bieber bought a monkey during his time of having money and at an early age. What was your buying monkey moment?
What was my buying monkey moment? Maybe
Silly financial.
I was just buying
spendings.
a lot of like toy, like Rubik's cubes and like airsoft guns and like like video game consoles. Stuff
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
But so maturity is one big topic. I mean, for you today, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the shittiest thing about it though? Is it
The
not
shittiest thing
being
about
able to do things like without thinking? Is that one of the things?
Yeah, that's one of the things. I think, just like when you mature or like when you get older, you go through stuff and then you kind of like, you learn from mistakes, but then you kind of think about like the next time you do things, you're like, oh, what if that happens? Or what if this happens? I wish I could just like do it. And I think a part of this album, I think that how it affected my music making of this album is actually not being afraid of like, I think there were times where I purposefully chose to be ignorant or like
Got it.
chose to like, because when you get too good technically,
Yeah.
you kind of like, it's not guaranteed that the music or the art becomes good. It's like sometimes you have to like, you know, learn to be a child again, kind of, when you create. And I think that's like part of it with this album. So yeah, I think that's the shittiest thing about growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always just trying to get back to like a more carefree type mindset.
What would it? I guess what would you give an advice to yourself about having eyes on you at that age? I guess.
I think meditate as much as possible.
Did that help a part of your journey?
It did because there was a point. Last time I saw you,
Yeah.
that was me during like my highest
Peak
level of anxiety.
Oh shit.
Cause we did the podcast when we were about to do like a Q&A thing for
That's
my
right.
album release.
That's right.
And I was very anxious because that was a time where I quit vaping, right? During tour.
Did you?
And then I did, because I was on tour in the US, and then I lost my vape, and then I was like, I'm just gonna quit.
Yeah.
And then on the last day of the tour, it was very hectic. It was like I was on tour with Joji and like Higher Brothers, and then they got their stuff stolen in the backstage.
Yeah.
And then everyone was freaking out, and then, but none of my stuff got touched, thankfully. But while everyone was freaking out, the tour manager was like, "Hey Brian, are you ready to go on stage in 5 minutes?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I felt nervous, and then I was like, "Why do I feel nervous?" And then I was like, "It's fine. As soon as I go on stage, I'm gonna be fine." And then I went on stage, and I still felt I feel even more nervous. And then in the middle of performing my song "History," I couldn't take it anymore. I ran off stage and I threw up in a trash can.
Did you?
I did. And then that became, well, later on, I found out that what happened was it was from nicotine withdrawals because it raises your anxiety, right? Wow. And then that mixed with how chaotic the environment was, I just was very anxious and I threw up. But then after that, it didn't even matter. I didn't even have any more nicotine withdrawals, but that moment has created like a new moment of a trauma for me.
Yeah,
because
of course.
Now I'm like, oh shit, am I gonna throw up again at random places? It got to a point where I couldn't even like get into an Uber without puking first. Or like, yeah, it was bad. For like 2 weeks, I couldn't. So like since then I found a therapist, I got into meditating. I was not performing for 9 months.
Yeah.
And those 9 months is when I was working on The Sailor.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like good timing. And then after that, I overcame it by just like, because I had this one big show, Head in the Clouds LA. And for like a month and a half, no alcohol, no nothing, straight meditating. Just wanted to like be as calm as possible, no anxiety. And then I told myself, if I do this show without throwing up or having to throw up first, then I'm proving to myself that I can do it. And then I did it. And then after that, I was good.
Wow.
But
you had your Rick Rubin moment.
What?
I mean, he meditates and doesn't drink.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Zen and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was when I saw you. When I saw you was like, it was before I did that show. It was before I had the overcoming moment.
Yeah.
So I was still kind of like anxious. I was anxious to even do that Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that day I was like, oh man, I hope I don't throw up today.
But I guess it's, I mean, despite the nicotine withdrawals, I think it's also having all eyes on you and thinking about what are their thoughts about you.
Yeah.
And just things that apparently don't really matter. But at the end of the day, you're the one that's actually receiving that. So do words matter for you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I read everything.
What gets you?
What gets me? I think there was a point where when I wasn't releasing music. Well, the thing is, I was releasing music though. It was just like not an album. And like when artists don't release albums, people don't seem to like care that much. So I was releasing music. It was just like singles and EPs and stuff. And I think I saw some comments where people were like, you know, there's always those comments of like, bro thinks he's Frank Ocean because I didn't drop for like 6 years. And I get it. But the other comments was like, oh man,
that's funny though.
It's funny. It is funny. But the one that got to me was, I think someone said something about how I started making like super like mainstream or pop music, or just like pandering to like the pop world and like to Asian Americans or whatever. And I was just kind of like, oh man, I wish they knew what I was working on right now. And it's just like, it's just stuff like that where people, the thing is, I can't even blame them for it. That's the frustrating part. I can't blame them for thinking that way, because I was putting out kind of stuff that was like kind of mainstream sounding. But it's just stuff like that where it's like, and the thing is, I don't respond to comments, to like hate comments or like to anything like that. But I do see everything.
And you just sink it all in.
Yeah.
Have you found peace with the past, or is that a work in progress?
The past, which part of the past?
I guess what we're talking about right now, it's not the past then, I'm assuming?
Are you talking about like...
Yeah, all those hate comments and just...
Yeah, well, to me, because the album's not out yet at this moment that we're recording this, it's not out yet. It's still kind of the present, because people don't know yet what I'm gonna put out. So yeah.
But how about the past, as in just being, your first few years in America and just having to represent the country, quote quote, and having all those eyes on you with all those burden. Have you found peace with that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what finding peace with that looks like, I guess. Yeah. I think there is a bit of a, it does feel there is a beauty in like stepping away from the spotlight, because I haven't put out an album in 6 years. There is definitely like a very noticeable difference of just like, it's not like every single thing I do is not in front of the spotlight. Not as much as it was 6 years ago. And there's parts of it that I definitely miss, but then there's also a beauty of just like, okay, people are not like only looking to me anymore to represent the whole country.
I mean, Nona's amazing. Nona's crazy.
Exactly.
The amount of eyes on them, and to be able to see them.
It's your turn now, Nona.
and these are your colleagues, I'm assuming, right? They're all like 88 artists, and everyone, I believe, sees you as one of the pioneers.
Right.
Do you give out advices, or?
If they ask for it, I do. Yeah, because I'm very close with Warren. I think we became close very naturally because of him being like also like a rapper, and we're in the same genre, so we naturally like hang out a lot, and we also just click. There's something about the way that we communicate where we kind of get each other on like a unspoken level, and I do give him advice, because I think sometimes he does ask for advice. Even when he's not asking for it, I can kind of tell that he like needs it or whatever. Then I would give him advice. But yeah, I'm an open book when it comes to stuff like that.
Of course. What kind of advice is that you gave Warren? He was here a couple of months ago, and we had a great time about, I think, also talking about representing the country, and talking about how it was quite a struggle for him to start, brand new all over in the States, and just going through all your footsteps, and saw you as a big brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think advice, it really ranges. It really ranges from big to small. Like small, it could be like, something like maybe he's making a song or something, and then he's like playing it for me, and then he's asking me what I think, and then I tell him like, okay, maybe you should give this part of the song some more space and stuff like that. And, it could be stuff like he's going through something, maybe he's telling me something, and it might be something that I've been through before. And then I would tell him, okay, well, when I was in your position a couple of years ago, this is what I did. And then this is what it felt like. And I know what you feel like right now. And I think even something like that is enough,
I feel like if you're out there and then try to make music, and I know you got to be in the zone, it's hard to not talk about loneliness, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's something that you guys want to talk about, being so far away from home. Is that something you guys share?
Yeah. Well, with him, not as much, because he does live with his mom out there. And when he's here, he's also with his mom. So it's kind of like Indonesia always follows him wherever he goes.
But like for the rest of the 88 artists, I'm assuming that's a one conversation to talk to, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's something that I've talked to like Nona about. I mean, I don't even like. I only see Nona when like we're in the studio or
Yeah.
like when we're in the same shoot or whatever. We haven't gotten like a chance to have like a proper like deep conversation, but they do mention that they do miss Indonesia because when they're out there they're
Yeah.
out there for a long time,
Of course.
for like months on end.
I saw a picture. Well, we all saw a picture of you and your dad with the gun. And
Yeah.
he's such a badass.
He
you
is
know?
a badass.
And it's like even after we did our podcast years ago, you had a conversation with Pharrell as well, and you gave him the ring, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was, I think, the first thing that I saw about your dad. Well, he sounds like a cool dad, and being away from your family and that I mean that cool of a family. Does that hurt you, and does that think of you?
Yeah. So here's what it feels like. This is what I realized recently. When I'm out there and I'm out there for a long time, I'm usually good because I'm okay with like being alone and like I'm used to that. But when I'm out there for a long time, it's like I may feel like I'm good, but I'm actually not. Like,
Oh shit.
you know, like I feel like I'm okay, but then when I come back to see my family, there's a bit of an adjustment period where I'm like, you know, the first week I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm not used to this, but then like after like a month of being with them, and then I come back, I'm like, oh man, I'm still a kid. Like I still need to be with my family. Like this feels weird now that I'm alone.
Yeah.
And or yeah, it's like like when I'm back with them, there's just like a sense of warmness and like a wholesomeness that I'm like, man, I'm missing this, you know?
How do you take solitude nowadays?
I these days, very recently, is weird. It's been like a love and hate thing recently. Because usually I'm an introvert, like for sure. I'm okay with not being around people, or like being around too many people can drain me if I'm around the wrong people or whatever. But I also have had times recently where I'm like at home and I'm like, what do? I don't want to make music today, but then I also don't want to watch TV today. And I don't know who to hang out with. And it feels like very like, but I think it's just because of how busy I've been with the album rollout. I think I just I think I just don't feel very grounded. I think that's what it is.
I get what you mean. Like there's a moment of lost after being so productive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah. Exactly.
And how, do you take that moment as an advantage for you to rest? You get what I mean? Like, or are you the type of person that I gotta fucking do something right now?
Sometimes, no, I definitely do like to rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I just want to play Call of Duty all day. And I play Call of Duty with Warren.
Yeah.
But I think when I was having this moment, it was when I was in LA and then Warren was in Indo.
Got it.
So we were just like not playing Call of Duty. We weren't talking as much. And in LA, I mostly hang out with Warren. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even want to hang out with anyone right now. Because I have people to hang out with. We're just not as close.
Of course. And speaking of resting and stopping, a couple of times when I talk to musicians and producers, they give out advices saying, the one thing that you have to do is knowing when to stop.
Yeah.
When to realize that, hey, this is a good song.
Yeah.
Let it stop there.
Yeah.
Was that one thing that was quite difficult for you?
Actually, it was pretty easy for this album.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the reason?
I think this album, there was just something that made me a lot more confident as a producer. I think it was the process of, because I had this process of like, before I decided that I'm going to produce the whole thing, I had already made like 4 or 5 songs that I produced myself. And we had this process of like finding a producer by having a producer camp. So we like rented a studio with like multiple rooms and we invited multiple producers and we had this like briefing session in the beginning of the day where I played them the songs that have existed yet that I've made and to just kind of show them that this is the vibe. And then later on, I would go into all these different rooms and kind of like see what they're working on based on, what they took from it. And then that's when I realized, like, damn, because these are good producers.
Yeah.
They've worked on, big songs and stuff, but I realized that it just weren't close to what I was thinking. And I think that's when I realized that, like, oh, I have a more vivid idea of what I want this album to sound like more than I thought.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I think I have to just work on this on my own.
How did you tell them to fuck off?
I didn't. I was like, yeah, man, this shit's tight. This is cool.
But not as fire as I'm about to do.
Yeah, it was exhausting. Like,
Yeah.
as an introvert, that was an exhausting process because everyone is like,
Yeah, can't
trying
imagine,
to,
dude.
everyone's like trying to get my attention.
Yeah,
you know
of
what
course.
I mean? But there were, I mean, granted, there I did find a few like producers that I love working with, and they actually did help out with some of the songs on the album. But I think that's when I realized that, like, okay, just because these guys are like have more experience than me doesn't mean that I'm not a good producer. I think that's when I realized, like, okay, let me like put my producer hat on. Like, I am a producer. Like, there was less of an imposter syndrome going on. Yeah. And then that's when I realized, like, oh, if I just spend the time and like just focus, I could just finish this entire song without the help of any other producer and like have the same quality.
But
And,
I don't remember you having the chance to learn to produce. You know what I'm talking about? Like, when was that phase?
I've always produced since 2017, actually.
How did you?
I did. So the first album before The Sailor,
Yeah.
that was actually mostly self-produced.
Oh,
produced.
wow.
It was just on a more amateur level.
Got it. Of course.
It was just all on the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like with the new technology and everything.
Yeah.
It was like easy
Yeah.
shit for you.
Yeah.
So
Hey guys, sorry for interrupting the podcast. We have a special announcement. Kita sedang berkolaborasi dengan Avalanche, sebuah brand parfum, dan kita membuat 2 varian. Ada the host dan juga the interview room. Both smells really good, dan it represents the podcast itself. If you're a fan and if you're a friend, jangan lupa langsung beli. Link in the description. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Thank you.
I think after 6 years, here you are. You're about to release your 3rd album. Why did it take you that long?
Because of life. Because of life and growing up and I mean, just how unpredictable everything seemed to be at the time.
Yeah.
COVID was a tough time for me. I was away from my family for 3 years.
So it took you 6 years to ask the question, "Where's my head?"
Yeah, and during that time when I was in a relationship, I was making music, but it was just like, it was very tough. It was like, yeah. Well,
everything in between happened, and I guess after 6 years, here you are with "What's in My Head," right? That's the title of the album.
Oh, where is my head?
Where's my head? Sorry, where's my head? And it's a question of, I guess, like, what are you about to do now, or what's the question like actually?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like what is the question of the?
Yeah.
I think. Well, I think it just talks about like sanity a lot too, because there was a few times, like there were some moments during that time of like 2020, 2021, where I think sanity was very questionable. I think so. I mean, a lot of people can relate to that too during COVID.
Of course, making impulsive decisions and everything.
Yes. But yeah, also just being alone during that time, being away from family too. So I think that's a big part of it, just like sanity and like it's sanity, and also just like I think there's a big part of there's a big part of like being back, kind of like returning back home as well with this album. There's a lot of like Indo inspired, things in the music as well, in the production, and also like samples and stuff like that. So
yeah, I feel like it feels existential and
very existential
and intimate at the same time. You know what I mean?
Very intimate. Okay, I think this is the biggest difference from this album and The Sailor, because I think The Sailor was very like, I love that album.
Yeah,
because
I love it.
I love how it sounds, but then I felt like lyrically I wasn't being, because a big part of The Sailor was me trying to be like inspirational
Dude, it worked out. I mean, Drive Safe.
Drive Safe, I did like Drive Safe. But I'm talking about songs like, for example, like Kids.
Kids was amazing.
Which I do love that song, but I felt like I felt like The Sailor was a bit like, the whole thing was too much about like, ooh, like I'm a role model. This is, do whatever you want to do. You know, I'm trying to be inspirational, but then it's like, what are you doing though? What are you saying to like be inspirational other than saying like, I'm inspirational? That's kind of what it felt like to me a little bit, looking back. So now
I don't see it that way. As a listener, I don't see it that way.
I'm glad.
But go ahead.
So it worked.
Yeah.
I'm glad. But with this album, it's more, I think I'm just going more like raw with it. I'm just going more like,
I'm a human after all.
I'm a human, and also like actually emphasizing the imperfections, you know, and being more vulnerable.
It's a question that it's impossible to ignore, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a process of being an adult.
Yeah,
it's about, you know, it's okay to just be of screwing up and making impulsive decisions and everything.
Exactly.
But does this album feel like it still relates to 2025? You know what I mean? Since it's a phase of 2020 and 2021.
Oh yeah, it does. It definitely does. I also wanted to make sure I'm not just like straight up like trauma dumping on this album either. I don't want people to listen to it and just be bummed out. You know? So it will relate for sure. And I think just like sonically, like when you hear the whole thing, like I don't think it's gonna feel like it's of any specific era, hopefully. But yeah.
It's filled with how many songs? So
15
songs.
Yeah.
It's not a small amount of songs.
Yeah.
Must be tough work. And you got a few people involved in this album, yes? No?
Features wise, yes.
Features wise.
Yes. This is the most features I've had on an album. I had Tori Moi, Maxo Cream.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't know this shit.
Yeah.
You got Tori Moi?
I do. Yeah.
How the fuck did that happen?
I DM'd him.
No, you did.
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah. Dude, a big part of like how all the features happened, which I loved, was it was so organic. It was literally just like me being like, because I made the song first, and then I was like, I want a feature on this. At first, I wanted a girl feature, but then I was like, I don't know if I didn't really know any like girl artists that I knew, like that I was that close with. And then I looked at Toro's Instagram and I saw that he was following me, and I was like, oh, let me just try this out. I just DM'd him. I was like, hey Toro, I have a song that I think you would sound great on. This is what I always say to artists. I'm always like, I have a song that I think you would sound great on. No pressure. Either way, I just want you to listen to it. But if you don't want to get on it, no problem.
This is your elevator pitch. Like that's it. Okay.
Yeah. And then he goes, dude, I'd be honored. And I was like, oh, you'd be honored? I'm surprised. And
Say
then,
what?
Yeah. And then I sent it to him. You know, it took a while because it's always hard to like find like the artist schedule and stuff. But then one day I was actually in Indo at the time. I was in my room with my brother, and then he just sent his vocals back. And it was lyrics that I had already wrote, and then he was just down to just sing it. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you say it as if it's nothing. Like, yeah, Tori Moi. Who else?
Tori Moi, Maxo Cream, Charlotte Day Wilson, Redville. Fuck, who else? Who else am I missing? There's Daisy World.
You got a bunch of people out here.
I got a bunch of people. Man, I haven't looked at the set list. I haven't looked at the track list in a while. But Charlotte Day Wilson, I was super stoked about too. She was
What's the story behind that? Was that a DM?
That was also a DM. A lot of these are, man. It was I found out about her through watching the show Atlanta. Because they were in the show, they played a Bad Bad Not Good song that had her on it, and I was like, who is this? Like, this amazing voice. And I thought, I made the song and I was like, her voice would be amazing on this. And then I DM'd her, and because of her schedule, it took her a while to send it to me. And then one day she was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be in town. I'm going to be in LA on this day. Do you want to do like an in-person studio? I was like, that'd be amazing. And then we did that. and I got to like witness her work in person, and her voice is like insane.
Wow. Do you think collaborating with artists is much easier out there than it is here?
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't even know what it's like here because
You're
I just
right.
haven't done it. You know?
You're right.
Yeah. What is it like here? Do you know?
I don't know. Ask your brother.
Yeah. I mean, out there, it's also very like, it's very often that it's not in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all online and everything.
These days, yeah.
But I'm assuming that it doesn't nggak menutup kemungkinan you'd like to do something out here,
Yeah, no.
right?
Yeah. I'm all about, I think these days I'm all about like, if it makes sense with the song, you know? Like if we can do something
Yeah.
and it sounds good, why not, you know?
Well, let's talk about that. I think the rap scene here in Indonesia is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like the last time we talked, I don't think there was a bunch of them, and now look at them. You know.
Yeah.
And I believe I think the impact of the Asian culture of rap music of hip hop is huge. And I listened to songs my brother play, and back then he's no longer playing music from America. He's listening to UK drills and everything. And that's something that's like, for me, it's like, oh, this is a brand new thing.
Yeah.
It's the rise of hip hop. How do you see it in Asia now?
How do I see the rise of hip hop in Asia? I do notice like, yeah, there being more of like an interest in like people blowing up in their own countries. Like for example, what's his name? Yuki Chiba.
Yep.
That was a really cool moment of just like seeing him, you know, blowing up with Team Tomodachi, and then all of a sudden it's like Megan Thee Stallion and everything.
Everyone's doing
collabing with him, and then and then you have like Tenchi with like Garam Dan Mandu, and that was like another really. When I saw that, I was like, this is really fresh. Like this is really fresh. And like no one's ever done that genre before, you know.
Yeah.
But yet it makes so much sense.
You're right. Yeah.
You know.
Do you feel like you could have been a part of that if you're out here? You know what I'm saying?
If I lived out here, I could have been a part of that. Yeah.
And do you miss out on that, or no regrets?
No. I generally don't really believe in like regrets. Well, just because I don't know, maybe it's like my religious side, or like my dad being extremely religious and just being like everything's meant to be, and like you know, God has the best plan and stuff like that. So that's how I try to think. I still do. Yeah, sometimes I definitely feel regret, but I think when I saw that, I don't know. I think I never thought that I was ever gonna like fit in with like I don't know,
a bunch of people singing in front of Indomaret. your introvert side of you.
It's just it's not even necessarily what it is. It's more just like anybody, really.
Got it.
I don't think I feel like I'm too introverted to like be like that tight with a scene. I think I'm always like kind of looking at shit from a distance. A little bit.
But I think your comedic music was actually a big part of you. Right? Mm-hmm. For the first few years of your career, comedic music was huge. Comedic side of you was huge. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a moment of fear that your audience wouldn't follow?
Follow as in like if I stop being comedic? Yeah. I think,
which I believe you're already starting to do that. No?
Be less comedic?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I did have like an identity crisis about that before a couple of years ago, especially when I just became a rapper, and I just like changed my Twitter handle to like, because my old Twitter handle was like Healy Riddler, that was like my Twitter comedy handle, and then I changed it to my rap name, and then I was like, I remember having a week where I was like, how am I supposed to tweet now? Am I supposed to like tweet like a rapper? Or like, am I supposed to tweet funny stuff?
How does rappers tweet? Kanye shit?
Or like, I think at the time, rappers would just tweet like, I don't know, like very nonchalantly, you know, like a picture of themselves, and then the caption is something like cool, like ice, trying to make my mark. Like I don't know, some shit like that. And I was like very split in the middle. I didn't know how to. And then I think I realized eventually that there are very serious rappers that can still be funny, yet their art is very serious. Like Kendrick Lamar, for example. Yeah, I think Tyler, especially Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very comedic. He's always been very comedic. And yeah, I think that's why I resonate with Tyler so much too, because he kind of like does all the things like that I'm also interested in. And
so how do you find the balance? How do you measure that then, I guess?
how do I find the balance? I would say like with this album there are more moments where it is comedic at times as well.
Right.
I remember because part of the like half of the album I mixed it in Indo when I came out here. I mixed it with my engineer that I've worked with since like 2016.
Wow.
And he's like my favorite engineer still.
Wow.
And he's told me, because I hadn't worked with him in like so long, when he heard this album, he was like, this is the most I've seen like your actual personality in the music. Because before it was actually more of a split. Before, even though like, yes, the videos were comedic, but raps lyrically it was like pretty serious in the earlier days. But then I think this album I was able to kind of like infuse some of that comedy in there as well.
Yeah, I also saw that you used some samples like from out here and old songs.
Yeah,
in Indonesia. How did you manage to dig into that?
Actually it was from a white friend of mine. Yeah, he posted
Again,
it.
One of those stories.
Yeah. he just posted a song on his Instagram story, and I was like, what is this really beautiful song? And I just, at the time, it just really aligned with all the stuff that I was already making. And then I just knew that I wanted to sample it. I just didn't know how. I just kept listening to it over and over, and I kept like playing that song to other people and being like, I want to sample this. And then eventually, finally, I found a way to sample it.
Wow.
But yeah.
Dude, I do realize even before The Sailor and afterwards and now video clips of your new album, Udah Ada Empat gitu. Visuals are amazing.
Thank you.
Like they're next level shit.
Thank you.
And I know you're interested in that part. You're hands-on in that part. What's the story behind that creativity process and just doing it?
Yeah, when it comes to the visuals of this album, it's been an interesting journey because we shot a big part of it in like February. We shot a lot of it in Thailand. In Thailand, with an American director, but it's just because a lot of stuff we shot was in a studio.
Yeah,
and it's just cheaper to do it out there.
Yeah,
and so we shot like 2 music videos, some like mini kind of like visualizer, like shorter type content, and then we made like an album teaser out of all of that. And we came into it, or at least I came into it, thinking like, okay, this is all we need. This is enough. And then
psych.
Yeah, and then after that, we realized like, oh, people post like so much more on like social media now. And it's more about like, I don't know, like shorter kind of like visualizer content, like performance type videos. So since then we have been shooting a lot more content with like different directors, but still kind of sticking to that original concept. And I'm going to shoot more while I'm out here as well. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is part of your process just sitting down and then actually visualizing what's gonna happen?
Yeah. This process has been like mostly me and this guy Chris, who's like a creative director from 88, and us kind of just like brainstorming, even starting from like the album name and like what is it all really started from me thinking about like certain specific cool shots that I want.
Oh wow. Like from particular films and everything?
Not even that. Even just like there was this one video that I posted for one of my songs where it was like me and I'm small and then there's like a bunch of big cameras. Yeah. So that was an idea that I had.
Popped up in your head.
Yeah, and I drew it out and stuff. And then there was like other stuff like that, but us kind of thinking like, what is the through line? How do we like house all these moments in a world? So I think that's why we kind of decided on like a pretty pretty loose, like surreal, world of like the Truman Show. Kind of like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of Truman Showy.
Yeah.
Kind of. Some people have said it's so funny because after the videos came out, some people were like, "Oh wow, this is very like Succession," and I had only seen one episode of Succession,
Yeah.
half an episode.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the director has seen more than me. But yeah,
That's really cool. When is the album out?
15th of August.
15th of August.
Yeah, so very soon.
Very, very soon.
10 days.
Also, your birthday's coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's in a month's time. Big plans?
No, I have no plans.
20... What is it now? 20,
The birthday?
Yeah, no, the age.
Oh, I'm turning 26.
26. And I guess 25 was that quarter life crisis kind of moment.
Yeah.
Was that kind of tough?
Well, 25 actually felt very appropriate. Like as in like I didn't feel too old, I didn't feel too young.
Got
It
it.
felt like exactly where I was supposed to be.
Yeah, especially with your life. I mean, living in LA, making music, that's a
Yeah.
fucking dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Dude, you said earlier that when you changed your Twitter name, you realized that I'm a rapper. What was the moment of realizing that this is the shit that I'm going to do for the rest of my life now?
I think when I got signed to 88.
Really? That early?
Yeah. Well, just because I was like, I had a moment where, when I put out the first song, I was like, I was still very much a Twitter comedian, and I was like, I was afraid that if I kept going with the music, that I was going to be one of those people. Because at the time, there were other people that were on the same lane as me doing like Twitter comedy that like would make a song sometimes as a joke.
Yeah.
And then there are some people that just don't know when to stop. And I just didn't want to be one of those people. But then I got signed and I was like, oh, I guess I have to.
This is it now.
I have to do it now. Yeah.
Yeah. What? I mean, you got to get rid of a bunch of stuff from your earlier lives. Like, assuming like Rubik's Cube. I know you were very good at it. What's equivalent to a Rubik's Cube today as an adult?
I guess. I mean, I still like to play with the Rubik's Cube. I still do.
Rubik's Cube's a Rubik's Cube. Then I guess.
Yeah. What is equivalent? I don't know. I do love airsoft guns.
Is that your new toys?
Well,
You're so American.
I know.
Like you say airsoft guns here, you just say guns there. Right?
No, I've always been into that since back then though, because back in the day I used to make like short action films
Yeah.
with Roy, and we used to have those prop guns.
Yeah.
But then my parents would be more kind of conservative on like how many guns I could buy. But then when I was out there, I was like, oh, no one can stop me.
So you just collect all these airsoft guns in LA?
Yeah.
You're the safest Asian out there,
Yeah.
man. Dude, what are some advices from your parents that you've been out there for quite a while now? Do they still give out advices to you?
They do. I'm trying to think of the last one. I think. Let me see. I think my dad is always just like. I think my dad has always had the same advice, which is just kind of like be very cautious. Like be cautious when it comes to like read. Like you have to like know how to read people and like stuff like that. But for some reason he's always told me that I was good at reading people.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid. But also like, that sometimes there's things that happen like where things don't go as planned and like, things change last minute. And I'm always the type of like, I'm a Virgo and I guess Virgos are like planners.
Yeah.
And I get really pissed off when that happens.
When that is
and I can't let it go. I'm like, but my dad is always just like, well, it's always for the best,
Well, I hope everything goes to plan, and I do know for sure after 6 years it's gonna be fucking worth it. Well, it better be, dude. I got my last question for you.
Okay.
I think the question is about what we've talked about. It's about growing up. It's about maturity, and the question is, how do you deal with the quieter, mundane part of your life now?
Yeah.
Bills, routines, relationships.
Yeah.
How do you compare them to when you were younger? I guess.
Yeah. It's really easy. It's so interesting. When I'm in LA, it can easily feel like I don't have enough time in the day for some reason. When I'm out here, it feels like I could do so much more. I don't know why. Maybe that's just how, that's just the energy of the city. That's just how it makes people feel. But in LA, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do today? Do I want to like go to the gym? I feel like I only have time to go to the gym and make music. That's it.
Yeah.
Like if I want to do anything else, I have to sacrifice one of those things. Like if I want to like clean my place or like go out to see a friend, I have to
Go
like,
to the beach.
Go to the beach. I have to like not make music, and it can feel very unproductive. So yeah, in LA, that's kind of like how I feel about the mundane activities. Like I have no problem doing it. It's not about it being boring, because I think the mundane activities, you know, I've heard from other artists that it's like, it's also just as important as any other parts of your life, because those moments can also be very inspiring. Right. But sometimes I just feel like I don't have enough time to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a time where you call it a day in LA? Just come back here and
just like fully move back here. I always say that I want to have a family here.
Is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I just want my kids to like have a similar childhood as me, like in a sense that like I just want them to, if they want to live abroad, I want that to be their decision.
Got it.
Yeah. And a part of it is also because I want them to just have a better perspective of the world. I think I just like have seen too many, I don't know, when people are just born like too privileged, it's just kind of like
spoiled brats and everything.
Spoiled brats, they become annoying, but then it's also like I feel bad for them. I also feel bad for them because like damn, like
dude, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Indonesians in LA.
Yeah. I am. but then it's also like I also feel bad for them because it's like damn, you don't know what it's like to like want to live here.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's like to like really appreciate something, you know.
You're right.
So I would hate for my kids.
How do you maintain yourself being an Indonesian and making yourself feel more Indonesian even when you're far away from home? You get what I mean?
Yeah. Watching IG Reels. I get a lot of Indo IG Reels content, and that really keeps me in touch with
Indonesia.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, it's been nice having you again in this show. Anything else you want to add?
It's not gonna be that long until my next album. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know when, but it's not gonna be 6 years.
You mentioned it. It's the 15th of August, no?
No, I mean the album after that.
Oh, the album after that?
Yeah.
Okay. You're already working on it?
I'm not, but just know that it's not gonna be 6 years.
Okay, 5 maybe. Right, it's been cool. Kalau gitu nama saya Yes Lawrence.
Nama gue Rich Brian.
I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Yes.